So, Ben and Tinsin, how did you enjoy the KAIROS 2 event on the 22nd of April?
We absolutely loved it. It was very well organised. Well, nothing to be biased about because it's actually our gym that we train at. Tom, Chelsea, and Vanessa, and everyone else involved did a great job. We loved it, didn't we, Ben?
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was, yeah.
It reminded me a bit of obviously being chefs, like a Michelin-star restaurant. Because have you ever been to one before?
A
Michelin-star
few
restaurant.
of them I have, yes.
Yeah, because you find that usually there's more staff than there is guests. So that's the sign of attention to detail, because that's what it was like. X amount of athletes, twice as many members of staff, and everything was taken care of. Smooth day. It was quality.
Good. I was there the day before, but we will talk about that in a moment. So, well, it's really great to be able to chat with you both for the KAIROS Pro Jiu-Jitsu podcast, the two chefs, and KAIROS 2 event that was live on the 27th of April, hosted at Escapology BJJ, still available to watch on their YouTube channel, and sponsored by 866 Jiu-Jitsu Wellness Camp based in Whaley Bridge in Derbyshire. Go and check out their latest events and get yourself booked on. Frontier Risks Group, disruptors to the security and risk management space. If you're a professional already operating in the security, risk management, safety, or consultancy space, you can choose from a range of courses designed to enhance your knowledge, skill set, and network. Two chefs. We'll talk about that in a minute, guys. Get a week's worth of meals, and you don't have to worry, especially when you're busy training all week. Go and place an order. You'll find out how. We've also got Jits Magazine, your home for BJJ and Jiu-Jitsu news, including the latest in MMA, events, results, interviews, and features. And me, Jiu-Jitsu Lou, podcast host, Lou Temlett, your host of this show, aiming to get more people listening and watching to great Jiu-Jitsu podcasts. Go and check us all out. The links are in the show notes. So, guys, talk to me about sponsoring KAIROS 2.
Go for it, Ben.
So yeah, we got approached to sponsor it, and immediately said yes. It's obviously amazing to be able to support something you're passionate about. We both train, so it's super important to kind of be involved in these events and do what we can to kind of the ethos behind it and everything around this event was like super in line with what we do anyway. So it was it was a no-brainer really. We just needed to work out the best way of doing it. And
Tom and Chelsea's vision, because they always said, after we've all trained and we line up, they obviously said, KAIROS next week, a few days time. And they said how they obviously didn't get the opportunity to have anything like this because obviously the money went back to the athletes, which was great. So they're basically philanthropists, aren't they? Just giving back, doing what they can for the people, which is a great thing too. And it's great to be at that academy, really.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And it's kind of showcasing some amazing talent and giving them an opportunity to win that large amount of prize money, which is, again, like, it's not unheard of nowadays, but 10, 15 years ago, like that wasn't happening. So it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fantastic group of athletes, a number of which I've already spoken to on the show. But talk me through your meal prep business, because I've tasted a number of your delicious dishes. The salmon and ratatouille is still at the top of my list because that was the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. So thank you, gentlemen. But talk to me about maybe the setup that you've got at Escapology BJJ, because I've seen how fantastic your setup is.
Yeah. Luckily, so that's one of 4 sort of gyms that we're involved in at the moment. We blast freeze all our meals. We find that not only does it lock in the nutrients, but it keeps it fresh. So, for example, someone placed an order and they're expecting delivery tomorrow. In theory, it's getting shipped out today, so it would have had to been cooked Tuesday, Wednesday, sitting around, then to be shipped, chilled, then to get to yours. So, they say fresh food. I'm not slagging off anybody else's company.
We are.
Everybody's doing their own job, but it's not fresh. It's been sitting around for 2-3 days, unless they're putting all preservatives and etc. in. That's why we went down the route of blast freezing it within half an hour of everything being cooked, portioned up, blast chilled, blast frozen, and then frozen, and then delivered out, to wherever he wants next day delivery.
Yeah, so it's still we use packaging, so it arrives frozen. The Escapology, for example, that they've got a freezer there.
Yeah.
So you can take it out, and you can either take it home with you and you have it the next day, or we've got you can literally kind of defrost it in the microwave and then cook it. So you can cook it from frozen, or you can kind of take it out. The people that have the meal prep deliveries generally will take it out the night before, put it in the fridge. But the freezers that are in the gyms, like Escapology, that can literally they've got a microwave at the gym now, you can literally finish training, buy a meal, put it in the microwave, and you're set.
I want to ask about the blast freezing. I'm a kind of techie. Is it just a regular freezer? What's this blast freezing?
So it is like a regular freezer, like a tall stand-up fridge that opens up, but it's got a massive fan behind it. It was pretty expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive.
It's the most expensive
piece of equipment
for setup.
And it will chill everything down and then freeze it to whatever temperature you want easily within 45 minutes. And I'm talking from
the main
80 degrees down to frozen.
And the main thing is, if you were to just put it in the freezer, there's nowhere for the hot air to go. So effectively, it's drawing the hot air out from that unit and pumping cold air in.
The environmental health loves stuff like that. Because you're getting it down, aren't you?
You're reducing the temperature. I mean, like you have to. If you're cook chilling things, you have to reduce the temperature. I won't get too boring, but there's like a danger zone, and the food needs to be in that danger zone for as little as possible. So you cook it quickly and then chill it quickly, and it's not in that danger zone for the minimum, or it's in that danger zone for the minimum amount of time. I'll stop there because that's the boring stuff. No one really cares.
No, we do care. We do care. I've seen a few documentaries on how freezers are made, actually, and the fact that the technology for household freezers hasn't really changed. But this blast freezer with the fan actually sounds like something quite new from a technology perspective.
Yeah, it's used in manufacturing. So any food manufacturer will have them. You get ones that are like walk-in, that are the size of like a lounge, basically, or a room. Ours is a unit which is which is still big. We can blast freeze everything in pretty much in one go, which is amazing. And then that's the main thing. We can literally freeze it, and then from the point of cooking to it arriving with you, it's basically as fresh as it can be. It's the same principle with the frozen peas. Like a frozen pea is fresher than a fresh pea, because by the time the pea's been harvested, gone somewhere to then go to market, by the time you get it, it's not fresh. Whereas the machines are harvesting them, freezing them literally straight away. So it's the same principle.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I love that. Anyone listening will probably be very interested. They'll be asking you more questions about this blast freezer. Anyway, tell me more about your backgrounds. I'm assuming you're both chefs by trade.
Yeah. So I've been chefing probably since I think 2001. I sort of fell into it, as a young sort of teen, 19. I used to go out drinking a lot, etc. I was a bit of a bum for a bit, and then I had to my mum told me to get a job, and I ended up in a pub in a chain. And then the girlfriend at the time pushed me to go to a quite prestigious restaurant in Cambridge. It was the Three Horses in Maddenley. It was known for just fresh Italian produce before the Jamie Olivers and everything, brought into it, sort of thing. A lot of stuff flying in from Italy each week, etc. Just made our own pasta, made our own bread. So I was like, I didn't go to college or anything like that. So I literally learned on the job. And then I was there for a good 10, 12 years, sort of learning my trade. And then like with jiu-jitsu and everything like that, you watch YouTube videos. I read a lot of books, watched a lot of programs, and just love it. And everybody eats. So if you can cook well, everybody's going to love you.
Is that the same for you as well?
Yeah, pretty much. I wasn't a bum, so other than that, but yeah, left school straight into hospitality. So like at 16 years old, I remember sat in De Vere Hotel somewhere in the country. I think it was like a De Vere in the West Country, being told that we were the future generation of De Vere hotels, and it was pretty cool. Like worked in all the departments of the hotel, and loved the kitchen.
Do you do housekeeping?
Yeah, housekeeping,
Okay.
reception, sales, accounts, restaurant, bar, everything. It was
Nice.
and fell in love with the kitchen. I was lucky. The executive chef that was running the hotel was he was old school, but you don't get chefs like that anymore. And his like passion and understanding and everything, like I was lucky to have him at that point in my career. And then sort of just chefed in various forms from then on. So it's probably about 25 years of different forms, like large scale catering, event style catering, fine dining, all sorts. And here we are today.
Amazing. Now, which obviously Tinsin, wasn't it, working in the Italian kind of food? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What chefs were your inspiration, or was it your kind of, your line manager, so to speak?
It was. So we were very closely affiliated with the River Cafe. Do you know the River Cafe in London, Hammersmith? Obviously,
do.
Jamie Oliver went there. Hugh Ferdy was there as well, I think. So our style was very much like that. So we all did stages there to work there to see how they all worked, and it was just great to watch fresh produce, not really mucked around with or anything like that, and then just served up, just lightly grilled or sautéed or something like that, and then served to you. And obviously, just fresh pasta. You can't beat fresh pasta. That's what I've made it at home a few times. That with my family and my son. It takes hours to make, obviously, the dough, rolling it out, and then it won't even get to the kitchen table. We'll stand in the kitchen, eating it, but when it comes out the pan, just in loads of butter. It's not really the two chefs ethos with all the butter and all that in it, but it is good.
Good. I'm sure, well, I've certainly tried my hand at making pasta in my years. I first kind of got involved with nice fine dining probably around the same time as you, Tinsin, kind of in the early 2000s, when I got one of my first jobs in tech, earning a ridiculous amount of money. So I was able to go to all these beautiful restaurants around the country. But the pasta making was very interesting because I bought one of those dryers that looks like an airing rack, and I bought the pasta machine. Did I only use it once? Yes, I did. It always felt way too much effort making your own pasta. But do you have any kind of tips apart from just to make it and eat it?
Just to literally make it and eat it. But you can make the dough up. Obviously, you can make a good batch of it. That's what takes time, doesn't it? Make a good batch of it, and if you wrap it in cling film and in foil, that will stop it oxidizing. Because if you don't do that, it ends up going black. You can make it in batches. You can freeze it as well. If you are making a batch, pull it out and then roll it. But then you can't beat a good making ravioli with just ricotta and sage in it, just something simple, vegetarian sort of thing. It's my favorite.
Lovely. A while ago, I did manage to order some pasta kind of meal prep delivery things that was black truffle and sage butter. That was very, very delicious. But yes, I want to go on and talk a bit about kind of food delivery. Just referencing from my perspective back to the early 2000s, probably 2001, I ordered kind of meal prep stuff, but it was very, very early to the game. You may or may not remember a company called Leaping Salmon, but it was all of the things like, all of those other meal prep things where you have to then prepare it yourself. But this was like, 25 years ago. And I absolutely loved it. It was a little bit of a fortune, but actually in terms of having restaurant quality food at home, it was the only thing that you could get 25 years ago. And it was much cheaper than the price of going to a restaurant. But how does your food now, how is it inspired and kind of, how are you delivering that restaurant quality? Because for me, the flavors, the textures, and just everything in your meal preps are just amazing. What inspired the kind of format for the high protein and the carbohydrate meals?
Ben?
So yeah, so the idea, we've got balanced or high protein. So the idea is balanced, kind of is tailored to everybody that just wants like a nice nutritionally balanced meal, and even that it's like a reasonably high amount of protein.
About 30 grams of protein.
30 grams of protein per meal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the requests that we had when we started was that people were finding it hard to hit their macros, which were inevitably like higher in protein than that. So we introduced the high protein for that reason. And the high protein's been the most popular meal. Like all the meals we sell, the high protein is the more popular. And the kind of the kind of theory behind, or not even a theory, but the kind of ethos behind the cooking is we cook the food like we would cook it in a restaurant. So we get together, we brainstorm ideas, we come up with menus. Sometimes it's as simple as like a WhatsApp voice note or a WhatsApp voice video.
There's a lot of WhatsApp messages.
Yeah,
a lot.
And then that can lead to, and again, it's brilliant because you can bounce off each other. So we can say like, we need a new dish, and then one of us will once you start talking, I say, oh, like beef mazman curry, and then he's like, oh, I had this amazing, and then all of a sudden, like you've got 5 dishes just from like one conversation. And it's things that we've cooked previously, and sometimes we'd merge dishes. And then sometimes we've had something out. So if we've eaten something out, and it's like, oh, I had this amazing, especially when we got into winter. I think one of us had a tagine, and we were like, do you know what? We need a tagine. Like, it's just, you're in the middle of winter. There's nothing nicer. You can have like a good comfort food, but still still healthy, still delicious, still nutritionally balanced. But and again, that's the menus change. I mean, Tintin would change the menu every day if he could.
Only because from like going back to the place where I first started, menu change literally every week. So it was great. You only just got to learn the menu by the Thursday, and then the head chef will come down and go, right, this is the new menu. We'd all be at our stations, right on our list, and then it'll be back to that Friday morning. You've got loads to prep, adrenaline's going, etc. And that's what made the whole sort of kitchen life. But obviously now we've got a few really popular dishes. For example, we've got did you try the Harissa chicken? Did you have?
I don't think I've had that one yet. That's tomorrow's
chicken.
dinner.
So that's marinated with harissa spices, the North African spice, and it's with we call it all the greens pesto. So we make like a classic pesto with basil. We don't use pine nuts. We use sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and then we blitz up with basil, garlic, a little bit of parmesan, but then we also add blanched kale, cavolo nero, and spinach, just to get literally all your greens in, and then that's finished off with seeds, and then it's then pasta stirred through through the pesto. So that's the most popular dish at the moment, and it's been on quite a few weeks. And to be honest with you, I'm quite bored of making it, but it's popular, so we'll carry on.
We have to find that balance. And the thing is at the moment that's amazing. If we take it off the menu and take it out of the freezers, there'll be uproar. But we had to take another popular dish off to put that one on. So
we had the lamb ragu.
The lamb ragu was like literally everyone was going mad for the lamb ragu, and then that came off. The chicken came on. So we just have to make sure. And again, the lamb ragu will reappear, but that's more of like again an autumn dish, winter dish. And again, the dishes that have been on, they will reset. They will come round again. But we are always trying to create new dishes, especially if you're subscribed and you're getting 6 or 12 meals a week. It's the balance between people like the same thing, people like consistency, but also at the same time, you variety.
Love it. This is the KAIROS Pro Jiu-Jitsu podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. One of the things that would really help this show grow is by you subscribing on whichever platform you're listening or watching on. If you could do that for me right now, I would be forever grateful. And as always, go and check out the clips on YouTube and Instagram at KAIROS_pro_jiu-jitsu. Today, I'm having a chat with Ben and Tinsin from Two Chefs. So, gentlemen, how many dishes do you kind of cook a week, or what's on your menu at the moment?
So we've got the Harissa chicken that we've just told you about, beef massaman, the salmon ratatouille that you've had,
lamb
keema. And then there's one more. Chicken in black bean. Chicken in black bean. Chinese chicken in black bean.
That's very delicious.
Then a veggie alternative. We've found that we've got a few people who like professional couples who use us with kids, so don't have time to eat, you know, after you sorted the kids out and stuff. And one of them is actually a vegetarian, and they said how nice it was that they can sit down and almost have the same meal. For example, the harissa chicken, that one person can have the harissa chicken, the other person will have all the greens, pesto pasta, but it'll be with harissa tofu, for example, which is rather than, you know, just a couple eating a totally different dish, they can still have pretty much the same thing, which was good.
Now, in the pesto, you meant good. I just want to ask you, you mentioned about the pesto, and obviously traditionally that's with pine nuts, but you use seeds. Is that kind of just respecting some of the nut allergy things and all the other allergies?
Cheaper.
Pine nuts are very expensive.
No, but it adds another texture as well. But they're seriously expensive. Pine it's mental.
Yeah.
Because that was another, for example, when we spoke about making a pesto, and I'm like, Ben, but obviously pine nuts are bloody expensive, and he's like, why don't you just use seeds then? So then we use the seeds, and then obviously we finish it with seeds on top as well for a bit of crunch.
So I've worked in places where you're not allowed to use nuts. I've worked in schools and things where you're not allowed to use nuts, and in those environments we would use seeds, and it genuinely you sort of don't notice it. All you're getting from the pine nuts is the fat. You're getting that kind of oily, fatty deliciousness. I think obviously you can tell the difference, but you are getting a similar sort of flavor profile from the seeds, if not more, because there's two different types of flavors coming in through the seeds.
No, that's good. It's all about GP and various other things, but running a business is a challenge when, you know, cost of living and all sorts of other things are increasing. But let's talk about feeding the athletes on the day of KAIROS 2. What went out of the freezer most that day?
So we served the athletes, and we served the athletes and the staff, so we fed everybody. That all the meals were chilled. We didn't freeze them, so we just chilled them down, mainly because it was just quicker to heat up. I was joking with Vanessa how I was basically there manning the microwaves, proper chef in that day.
I was helping out.
Yeah, Ben was the barista that day.
Yeah, but also I was causing chaos.
Yeah,
I was just basically giving everyone meals. So
giving everyone meals. That's the thing, because you know, in competition, no one wants to eat until afterwards, do they? They don't want to eat halfway between their match. So it wasn't until the very end, everybody come up to me for food. Ben obviously tries to help, and just didn't help.
I just kept taking the food. I just kept taking the food out the microwave and giving it to someone else.
He walks off.
Then go and find someone else, but go get some food.
So that day we did, the Harissa chicken again, because how popular it's been. And then we also did a pardon me, a butternut squash, spinach, a chickpea keema with brown rice for the vegetarian version, which was tasty.
We got a lot of comments on how nice that was for a vegetarian dish, which is always a positive. Yeah. And it was delicious. That's
so did I.
So it sounds like absolute chaos behind the scenes, of course.
Yeah, of course. We're all swans, aren't we? Gliding across, but the feet under.
Always. You know, I was watching the live stream, and it was just like you say, a 5-star kind of Michelin level production.
Yeah.
It was super. It was super sick. The gym lends itself to that sort of setup. They've got because they've got the 2 mat areas. There was one mat area for warm ups. There's an outside space, and then they'd created the kind of runway into the matted area and things. So it was an amazing setup.
I dropped in the day before. I kind of hot-footed up from Bath because I wanted to meet Vanessa and Tom and Chelsea, and just learn from it
was the seminar, wasn't it? Did they...
Yes, Tommy and Daniel. I've taken away some really nice tips, so it was a pleasure to meet them in person.
That was a good match. Did you see the match on the Sunday? Did you watch it?
Yes, I was watching the whole way through.
it was good. Yeah,
it was interesting because I was talking with Vanessa, and it was this is one of the things that makes it good is the time cost, because had it been no gi, it would have been a completely different match. I think it genuinely, well, again, a lot of them would have been, but it's a really good format. And on the first one, I really like that, and it's good they've kept that.
Yes. Now you both train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Escapology BJJ. Tinsin, Ben, what is your training schedule, and what ranks are you?
First of all, I'm literally. I look today. I'm 120 hours Spazzy white belt. I'd like to point out, and then Ben is a black belt ninja. That's all I can say. And he's annoying. He's got these massive knuckles. When I'm like, for a split second, I'm like, I've got him, but I haven't. Then all of a sudden, this massive knuckle hand comes around and just grinds into my head. And yeah, that's why we love him. But it's good because I literally get to. I'm like, Ben, I've done this today, which is probably nothing to him, but he's always up for listening.
Yeah.
Like just before,
Nice.
you know, we're talking now. I was like, Ben, I managed to do this today. He's like, oh, that's good, mate. But I know inside he's thinking,
no, it's good. No, it is.
But
I'm
like.
The journey's amazing.
Ben always told me, like when I first started out as well, he said it's a bit like being a kid, which has stuck with me. When you're a kid, you want to be an adult, don't you? And you realise when you get to an adult, it's not actually that great. Enjoy. No one expects anything from me.
Enjoy the process. Like the white belt. And again, I say it to all the white belts. I was like, this is the best time, especially somewhere like now. Like when I was a white belt, my instructor was a brown belt. There was one purple belt, maybe one blue belt, and the rest of us were white belts. Like you go to a lunchtime class at Escapology, there's like 4 or 5 black belts, 5 brown belts, like 6 purple belts, like endless blue belts, and then endless white belt. Like so, sometimes you go to a class and there's just one white belt, and they sort of go, "Oh no," and I'm like, "This is amazing." Yeah. Like you would have had to go on to Brazil to do this. Like when I was training, like this is amazing. You've got nothing to lose. This is literally the perfect opportunity for you, and they don't believe me. But it is.
I don't believe you, Ben. A class I went to last week, a comp class, Thursday lunchtime. We all go off in little groups afterwards, and I was paired up with. I'd say paired up. It was with Tom Barlow, and then with Sam Quinn. You know Sam as well.
Yeah. Sam's
another just a bit like, and then another. It was a purple belt, Curtis, and I was violated. That's the only word I got for it. But. Yeah, that's all. It was definitely a workout. And afterwards, well, I didn't die. That's the most important thing. Got to live another day.
Exactly. I think any day we train jiu-jitsu, if you come out alive, especially if you're in masters category, if you come out alive, then obviously we plan on living a long time. But if you come out alive, then that's a great day.
Yeah.
So Ben, do you kind of go to Tinsin with, look, I've created this dish, and then Tinsin goes, "Oh, great." Is it the other way round with cooking?
We literally we do a lot of talking, a lot of WhatsApp messages, a lot of playing around, and a lot of the time as well, we'll take a normal dish and sort of strip it back a bit. So it hasn't got all like the full fat coconut milk in, and you don't have the butter. I love butter. It's good, but there's a lot of calories in butter, obviously, and it's not good for people who are want to keep stuff balanced, etc. But it's more food chat. We chat about it more, don't we?
Yeah,
and then we play about it because we know obviously how many calories are in 120 grams of pasta. So then you can just work with that, and that's your pasta. Do you know what I mean? And then X amount of this, X amount of that.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy. And then the more dishes you do, because they're all broken down and stripped off sort of thing, stripped down.
Yeah.
You can just sort of bring them together. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit of this, bit of that, bit of that. So we've been chefing long enough to know sort of what works, what flavors. Well, I hope we do anyway.
Yeah. The hardest thing is trying to get the macros to fit sometimes. But the more you've like when you first start out, you start doing it. You're like, oh, this. You make it, and then you look at the macros. You're like, oh, brilliant! That's like 1,000 calories.
So we played around at the beginning with some brownies, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some brownies, and Ben's like, "Oh, I've got a good recipe for a brownie." And we just made a brownie recipe and just chucked a load of protein powder in it. They tasted great. And then when I sat down and worked out the macros, it was a tiny square, and it was literally about 600 calories in it. And I'm like, with like 20 grams of protein. Like, that's not really going to work, is it?
But my theory was you could market it as a high protein brownie.
Yeah. But it's when you start, looking at stuff closely, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think anyone that tracks their calories, tracks their macros, will know, it's easier to simplify everything and then build things up from there, just to try and get all
Yeah.
the levels on whichever app you're using. But I'm interested, do you think that any kind of high protein kind of snack things are coming your way, or are you sticking to the meal prep for now?
All right, we have spoke about it. Obviously, we toyed with the brownie. We ate all that. We literally ate it.
We gave some samples out to some of the people we sponsor, and they're like, "This is amazing." We're like, "No,
it's amazing. You don't want to know how many calories in it." Literally.
But we just need to focus. We're still early. We're still early in what we're doing. Well, we've actually been trading for less than a year, so we're still early. And the reality is we just need to keep it simple. Do one thing well. Once we've got that done, then we'll go. The big thing that we keep talking about, and we're going to do a little marketing campaign on it, is like normalizing eating paella for breakfast, normalizing eating lamb ragu for breakfast. Because people always say to us like, "Oh, can you do a breakfast?" And we're like, "Just eat the meals."
Yeah, exactly.
Breakfast. Like,
we eat them ourselves. It doesn't, we always send each other stuff on Instagram, but we've got a bit of a gripe with the whole cereal for breakfast and all that. It's just it's rubbish. It really is, and it annoys me. I limit my son to once or twice a week, and then I'll just make him scrambled eggs. But it's not good.
Because the reality is, any breakfast you do in a meal prep situation is not going to be as well regenerated. Because this is another thing we have to take into consideration is the regeneration of the food. So like, well, not regeneration, but regenning the food. So like, we cook it. You could cook something, eat it, and it's amazing. But if you freeze it, defrost it, and then cook it, it's not going to be amazing. And eggs are the classic example of that. You'd make an omelette. It's like, that's amazing. You freeze it, water the omelette intakes the water. You defrost it, it ejects the water. You get this damp, horrible, soggy, disgusting thing. So we've got it with the mains, but as soon as you start playing around with breakfast, anything like that, it's just not good.
No.
And we've trialed lots of meal prep companies' breakfasts, and they're all horrible.
Yeah.
Like, so
I think you're right, staying with what you know and just kind of refining that. When I used to work in Japan, it was always having kind of meat and protein and kind of grains or rice, whatever, like beef stew for breakfast. That was normal.
Exactly.
So it's just normalizing it all.
The Asian congee is great. I love eating congee. And then you can just have some braised pork ribs or anything on top, and soy sauce and onions, and that's breakfast. Yeah, it's great.
But that's our next marketing campaign, is normalizing eating lamb ragu for breakfast. Tinsin always laughs at me because I generally eat them all cold, and he always messages me saying they taste nicer hot. But if I'm out and about and I'm working and I go somewhere and I know I'm not going to be able to go for lunch anywhere, then I'll take one with me and eat it on the go, and they're delicious. Like, they're really nice. I mean, they are definitely nicer hot, but they're still good. And
I love that. So I know KAIROS are looking for upcoming sponsors. Is it worth being a sponsor for the next KAIROS event? For anyone else that's listening, we're kind of a call to action. We want other people to come in and sponsor KAIROS events. Is it worthwhile, gentlemen?
Oh, definitely. It was an experience, not only to be involved, and everybody was so professional, but you get to see all the top athletes. We were there literally at center stage, so to speak, and watching them.
Yeah, and the exposure online, all the YouTube, the people watching via YouTube, via the live stream, watching back, like the numbers are really good from that point of view. And it is genuinely a great way of getting your name out.
And we got to meet you, Lou.
You did, and I got to meet you guys virtually for now. I will come back up to Cambridge because Escapology BJJ really is a destination jiu-jitsu gym. I absolutely loved it. So anyone out there that's looking to get the coverage that these guys are talking about, drop Escapology BJJ and KAIROS Pro Jiu-Jitsu a message.
They're really great to work with, like, genuinely, like, we know them, but even if we didn't, like, they still would have been like the conversations that we had via email and things in the lead up to it, and understanding what everybody wanted from it. It's really good. And like I say, like, the kind of the principle of the event is like cute. So you're
Yeah.
you're supporting something that's doing amazing things for the sport, but at the same time, like you're getting this exposure. And the thing is, it's on YouTube now forever, right? So though, like anybody that goes to watch it now, the sponsors are still there, so it's amazing.
Yeah, good.
We got this
Now-
sign as well. Our sign along. This is our sign from the event. We brought it along.
I love it. That is fantastic. And this episode will be out. Obviously, you're listening to this episode because we're recording it live. Gentlemen, how can people follow the two chefs or, you know, order meals from you?
So we've got, you follow us on what is our Instagram tag?
Two Chefs Cambridge or Two Chef Cams. But if you search Two Chefs on Instagram, it comes up.
It comes up.
Double check.
And then it's the twochefs.co.uk for our website. They've got a great little AI chatbot there you can talk to if you've got any questions, but obviously we'll respond as well if it's early hours of the morning. But all the information's on there, etc., with the various meal plans that we do offer, either subscription or one-time purchase. And then also we sell our own coffee. Ben's got his fingers in coffee. And what do you do with coffee?
I've got my fingers in coffee.
Yeah, literally. He wrote.
It's all right.
He sources his own beans.
So we roast coffee and we created a blend for Two Chefs. So there's a Two Chefs blend of coffee, which is really cool. It's it's a delicious coffee. We sell it by the kilo and 250 grams. You can order it through the website, add it to your subscription, add it to your order, or just order the coffee. But it's caffeine is the most researched and proven pre-workout, most effective pre-workout. So not only is it delicious, but it can also fuel your training. But the meals, the Two Chefs Cams on Instagram. Two Chefs Cams on Instagram.
Yeah.
The twochefs.co.uk. It's all
Website,
there. Website. The meal plans start from £48 a week, which is pretty insane. Like we kind of spoke about this the other day. A friend of mine was buying meals from the supermarket or buying food from the supermarket to do his own meal prep and end up spending 60 quid and then eating basically Cajun chicken for a week. So you can get 6 meals delivered to your house anywhere in the UK.
You see, look, that's a good idea for a dish.
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. Cajun chicken.
This is how it starts. But
Oh my goodness me.
No, but all the information on the website, but also drop us a message on Instagram. We both manage the page, so we're always there. And we'll always answer any questions.
Fantastic. Ben and Tinsin, thank you so much. I will end the episode now because I feel like it might get out of hand.
We've been very good, haven't we?
Can I? So I can't swear yet. Okay, I'll wait. Okay.
Right, go and follow the Two Chefs and go and buy their amazing meal preps because they are very, very delicious. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell your friends about this show and maybe even drop it a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the KAIROS Pro Jiu Jitsu podcast.